Sound check. Test mic. Why it was black? Why with the what with the black screen? Anyway, good morning and hello and welcome to the stream. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. So we're just gonna go over with the I think it's still the same. It's just have this updated values of the effects of the mechanics and the powers for the season 9, the sins of the Horadrim. So we're just gonna go over with this the season 9 mechanics and the seasonal powers, and then we'll go over with the patch notes. I believe the patch notes also covers the entire changes in the seasonal powers as well, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, we're just gonna go over this real quickly. I think it's the same as the one that we have, and the same as yesterday, as what the developers have discussed on. So basically, we're gonna jump in on. We'll go to the NPC, initiate the quest, and then we will go with our first waypoint. Is it large enough? Okay, I guess it's large enough. So yeah, customize powerful Horadric spells, secrets of the Horadrim. So we know already that there is the spell, the catalyst, and the arcana. Catalyst, which is the main spell, then infusions, and then arcana. So the catalyst will be link. So the catalyst will be link on our skill bar based on where we position the catalyst on the so basically this 1 2 the Roman numerals 1 2 3 4 5 6. This is the position of the skill bar on our skill bar. The position of our skills on the skill bar. So if you place it 1, then if you cast this one, then it will activate the catalyst. Then now Celestial Surge, the lucky hit has been reduced. Disintegrate, I heard yesterday that they are making the disintegrate, the beam more larger, more wider. Then we have the propulsion. I believe this is the what is it again? I forgot the name of that that makes you teleport more easily. Generate Mana Blast, cooldown 8 seconds, rank, and then at rank 20, so the cooldown is only 3 seconds. Lucky hit 15. Cosmic Anomaly, this is the 5 like minion like anomalies. That emit particles which deals damage. The thing with the anomalies, like, you have to wait for them to become 5, and then if you're casting the skill, if you're using this, if you are attaching this cosmic anomaly to a skill that you are casting it all the time, then you will not able to reach the 5 anomalies. Basically, one anomaly, it will hit right away because you activate it. I think this is going to be, I don't know, efficiently used for skills that have, I would say, like longer cooldown. Then Astral Pillar, Astral Magic, Shape Ethereal Column. Then Infusions, this incantation imbue your catalyst like Smoldering Ember. So if you are doing fire, dealing, now they have increased, tripled the burning damage. While equipped, your fire damage bonus is equal to that of your highest damage bonus type. And again, with respect to our Necromancer, we don't have really a damage scaling. We have, which is shadow damage. But the shadow damage, from what I have seen, it doesn't have any scaling, like increase your corrupting damage, for example. Well, there is, but there's not too many. Like unlike the overpowered damage, you have this 100%. You have another one with 100%. Now the Bloodbath is now only 100. It was reduced to 40%. So, for example, we are doing shadow and corrupting damage. Enemies hit, deal 5%, blah blah. See, there's no damage scaling for the shadow damage. I don't know why it's only reduced damage. And then technically if you have a shadow damage, no, how can you scale now your shadow damage with another multiplier? There's none for the Necromancer other than your shadow or your corrupting damage. You don't have a very efficient physical damage increase because our physical damage is using critical strike to scale its damage or the overpowered damage. And apparently the overpowered damage is not considered as a damage type bonus. The damage type bonus that they are considering is fire, lightning, cold, shadow. What else? And the other overtime bonuses. Other than that, it didn't say about overpowered damage because now the overpowered damage is now behaving as the critical strike damage. That's why I mentioned it on my feedback. I don't know if they have seen it. Probably there's so many people are giving it. But what I have mentioned is like, how come the shadow damage doesn't have that the bonus scaler? Plus, I think the only one who will benefit from the shadow damage is the rogue or other. I think the rogue is the one I know that has a shadow damage, and then it has a poison damage scaler. So it can use now, if the poison is greater than the shadow, then they can use shadow damage type skills, and then they're gonna use this one, the Nebulous Extract, in order to scale their damage through their poison scaling. Oh yeah, so there's another one, so the poison. Then you have the Corrosive Vapor. This is the poisoning damage. The same thing, if you have a very good shadow damage scaler, then you can use your poisoning. What I have seen here, I don't know if this is going to work with Andariel's Visage. you can take advantage of this corrosive vapor. Then you use your, or what is your use shadow damage scaler, and then you have your poisoning damage now. So basically you will be dealing poisoning damage using your shadow damage bonus scaler. Then this is lightning. And then of course Arcana, there's rare, magic, and legendary. I believe I have created already like my PTR overview already. Rare, magic, legendary, denial. There's power, denial, and control. Tendrils bundle. Invoking your catalyst. Increases your movement speed. Luminous gem. Can I? Give me a second. Let me add. The thing here is I don't know which one is probably I'll just gonna check this out, which one is rare, which one is so I guess let me see here. So there will be name. Oops. What? It was your fingers, sir. Don't blame me. Can I zoom this in? Because I feel like it's too small on the screen. So what is the make it 200? Oh, too much. 150? Okay. Name, rarity, and effect. What I'm going to do is so that I'll be able to oh, here it says magic. Okay, good. So we can group them together now. So rarity, so magic. What's wrong with my fingers on my keyboard? That's my hand. That's my fingers are swelling like. What's going on? Let's change this to blue. Well, it's magic is blue, right? Or make it a little bit lighter. Okay. Magic. Can I? Anyway, never mind. So magic tendrils. Is that? Shoot. The shortcut doesn't work here. Then effect. Okay. What else? Tranquil Stone. So magic. Effect. Drifting powder. What happens if I view this side by side? No, it's not going to work. Okay, let's just continue. What else? Luminous gem. Oh. Like it copied it as like attaching a picture. Murky essence. Why I'm doing this so that when I theory craft my build, I can easily find, like by using a finder. Let's say I'm looking for say I need unstoppable, so at least it show right away so that it will be easier for, rather than browsing on the tooltip on the game, so that I can easily see the effects. Then bottled wind. Evoking your catalyst. So lucky hit. Okay, let's finish everything before we move on to rare. Reactive ooze. Oops. Sorry if I very fast on going back and forth just to copy, paste, copy, paste. All right, now let's check the effects of these magic items. Oh, by the way, where's the painter again? Format, conditional formatting. Yeah, I forgot that's anyway. one. Then we highlight. Oh, no need to highlight, but just copy. Then rare is yellow. Whoops. Okay, lucky hit. Your catalyst 35% chance immobilize. Unstoppable. Your catalyst increase your movement speed. Your catalyst your catalyst will daze enemies it damages. Invoking your catalyst will grant stealth once per enemy every 5 seconds. Damage from your catalyst will fortify and heal you for 5% of your maximum life. Invoking your catalyst grants a barrier equal to 30% of your maximum life for 4 seconds. I still wonder if probably we will check the tooltip of the overpowered damage. Do we still need to invest in life? Because they say that the overpowered damage is now different, wherein it has, so for example, your overpowered damage will now scale through 50%, the way like the critical strike damage do. Like every critical strike damage that you invest, so it gives an additional 50%. Then you have this critical strike damage multiplier. So when you critically strike, based on that percentage multiplier, then it will scale your damage when it critically strike by that value, by that additional multiplier value. Now, same thing with the overpower. So when we overpower, that value will scale. Now, based on what? I think what they're saying is like same thing with our critical strike damage. If we overpower, then it will scale with that overpower scaling. Not with the additive damage like it used to before, like the difference between your fortifier and your base life, and then your base life to your max life, something like that. I think that's why overpower is scaling like way beyond the other damage scalers. Anyway, what else? Once for every 5 seconds, catalyst will fortify. Invoking your catalyst grants a barrier equal to 30% of your maximum life for 4 seconds. After it dissipates, its essence is bottled back up plus 4% each rank. I think I have a data for this one. Do I? There you go. Let's rename this one. Rename. The magic has 5 ranks only. All Arcana, whether it's rare or legendary, and then infusion up to 10, catalyst is up to 20. And then this is their upgrades. I think I made this one to figure out what is the ideal barrier when we use the Archmages. So we have the Brilliant Sigil, Horadric Crest, Infusion 1000 Potency, more DR, more Core Stat, Runes Q for the barrier, Infusion Nebulous Extract, so that we can have that damage reduction. Then Arcana, Battle Wind, Tranquil Stone, and Potent Alloy. Probably we'll call this. This will be the Season 9 data. What is this one? Then what else? Lucky hit damage from your catalyst up to 50% chance to deal 150 to deal 100% 150 of your thorns damage. Oh shoot, I have to pay attention to this. So this one, because it also captures the deleted. I'm also thinking if I would like, I haven't played the Thorns build yet, so maybe I would also give this a try if I have the chance. After your catalyst activates, gain 5% maximum resource generation per second for the next 10 seconds. After catalyst activate, grants resistance and maximum resistance. Okay, now let's move on to the rare. Is it easier to just do like this? What is that? Unwrap. There you go. Oh. How many rares do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it only 4? There's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sharpening gizmo. I just need to pay attention to what was deleted. 40 to 80, so that one is deleted. And then consume to instantly. Consume. This one got deleted. Then we remove the 8. Okay, let's check. The effect size of your catalyst is increased. The catalyst deactivates monster damage resistance aura. Your catalyst apply vulnerable. Your catalyst destroy enemy barriers. I think this is one of the good, like it destroys the enemy barriers. Then lucky hit, damage from your catalyst has a 50% chance to deal 200% physical damage. Okay. To deal physical damage, the thing is, does this one, when it deal a physical damage, will it be... Oh, I think... Give me a second. No, I think this is not the one. This is the one that they're saying about there's no damage scaling. I think it was the jewels that they are saying that there's not too many scaling damage multiplier for the physical damage. Damage from your catalyst has a 50% chance to deal 200% damage. Okay, moving on. Now for the floaty bubble and the nightmare orb now goes a bit tricky because each effect has its own effect for a certain for each catalyst. No, give me a second. Because I want them on a similar... Anyway, insert. Oops. This one is catalyst. So basically, I think this one requires Copy. Huh? Can I just... Oh, duplicate. There you go. No, 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 no. Give me a second. I think it should be here. It's still the same. I think this one is too bright. Oh shit. And then why they are different in color? Ah, okay. It's under the yellow side. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. What? Okay, so the effect is one, two, three, four, five. What? Propulsion. See? Because I like using the shortcuts from the keyboard, especially if I'm using the real Excel. I mean, the Excel of the Microsoft. I'll be much more faster because I can utilize those shortcut command keys. Cosmic anomaly. Okay. You are unhindered while the beam is active, and for 2.0 seconds afterwards, blinks. I think there was no changes on these effects. Except for the nightmare orb. Why everyone is deleted? Okay, we'll just do it one by one. Now the thing is, we need to Where's that format to remove the strikeout? Jeez, I need to familiarize myself here with the should be on the font. There you go. Yeah, I'll just need to copy this group. Oop, before I forget, what the heck did you do? Oosh! Where did you go? Okay. Disintegrate. So for Celestial, we remove the 25%. For Disintegrate, we remove 4 up to the very end. I think let's finish and then we'll just update in one single go. Oops. Okay, propulsion, we remove 2 to the end. Then astral pillar, we remove the 4 for 4 seconds and then solar to end. Cosmic, we just removed the 80. Star sphere, unaffected enemies. Fears unaffected enemies and fears unaffected enemies and deal increased damage to them while they are feared. The disintegrate will be good because you're getting a but this is just for the catalyst, not for us. or for the skills of the class. Okay, next, Frigid Heart. Everything here. Okay, let's remove so we are now on the third. Okay, except this one, remove the 10. A Frigid Heart catalyst gains a specialized freeze effect. The flare freezes surrounding enemies for 3 seconds when removed. Each freeze increases your lucky hit chance by 10% up to 25%. So anomalies have a 30% chance to preserve themselves instead of imploding and freeze surrounding enemies. This could be a good utility using the Cosmic Anomaly. So this is now, I believe, for us. Fears unaffected enemies and deals. Because the thing is, the word "and deals", because the catalyst, basically this effect is for the catalyst. It says here your catalyst gain a specialized effect. The thing is, like for example, this one, fears, when the enemies are feared, and deals increased damage to them while they are feared. So I hope that this Nightmare Orb increases our damage by 100% from our skills also. It's like the effect of this buff is not just for the damage of the catalyst, but for us as well, for the class skills also, because it didn't say pierce unaffected enemies and your catalyst increase damage to them, and your catalyst will deal increased damage to them. Because same thing with this one, your disintegrate beams freeze all affected enemies for 3 seconds after you evade, and also grant 15% dodge chance for double that duration. So the catalyst doesn't have a dodge chance, it doesn't dodge basically. So this one, the effect is to us. So same thing with this one. Increases your, now it's here, it's very clear. Each freeze increases your lucky hit chance by 10%. I just add that so that I will remind myself to check. This is stun effect. First, there you go. Here you are. Pressurized team. The stars have a chance to stun and are guaranteed to critically strike stunned enemies. Now, here's the thing. To guaranteed to critically strike stunned enemies. So I would say this effect is not only to the catalyst but also to our skills. In this one. Okay, last one. See, this one is an execution. Arcana. Okay. For the propulsion, we remove with to life and then reset it. With to life. This one, propulsion. When we execute the enemies, then we gain movement speed. See this? Your catalyst gains a specialized execute effect for non-boss enemies with 10% or less life. Then it adds 2 more percent for each rank. This is a legendary, so plus 10, plus 5 ranks. So 2 times 5, so that's 10, so that's 20% life. This is a good arcana, especially if you are inside of the escalating nightmare dungeons, especially on the strong room, to gain that attunement so that you can kill a lot of enemies within that time limit. Alright, so we have it. Oops. Roderick Jewels, the Star Flux, Idol from Below. Will Breaker. Physical damage you deal shatters enemy spirits, causing them to take 40% more physical damage for 6 seconds. This effect applies when first damaging a boss or elite, or when they are affected by crowd control. As this season offers extensive options for elemental character builds, we wanted to introduce these new Heraldic Jewels so physical builds have something to chase as well. I want to create another one. This is for Chloe Tyler 40. Thank you very much for the follow. Roderick Jules. Roderick Jules. Okay. Let's grab all of this. I will just figure it out later. Starflux. Okay. Seal of control. There's no rarity, no catalyst. But I believe I need to add the school here. What school? School. School. Seal of control. While you have 2 or more arcana. Then effect. Here. Let's expand this one. Effect. Wheel of power. Same thing. What if I group them together with the same, like 2 plus Arcana, 2 plus School? I think that would be great. So that we would know which one is which. Arcana. Somehow it seems like they know how. I think they have already organized somehow, or not. Probably I'm gonna set aside the one that doesn't have a requirement for Arcana below. Oh, give me a second. I made a mistake here. Arcana School. This is wrong. Let me check again the previous one. Control power and denial. I would say this is control. Oops. 2 plus control. Then this is obviously. How can I help you? No. Not at this moment. I think I hit F1. Denial. Am I correct? Let's double check. Control, power, denial. Makes sense. It says here, seal of denial. It says here, School of Denial. What are you expecting? Like seal of denial, it requires 2 or more. School of power. +2 to control, power, denial. Duration, movement speed, critical strike chance. Now we need this one for the barrier. Because we don't have the barrier now on our ultimate skills. Project Crest. Unique School. Can I place a marker here so that just in case? Reverie Horn. Reverie Horn. They changed this. Where are you? This is also a jewel, right? Wheel breaker. I don't know if... I think this is an additional one. Okay, let's add this. What does it say? This one doesn't have any effects. Basically, it only says that physical damage shatters, blah blah blah. The only requirement is this effect applies when we first damage a boss or an elite, or when they are affected by the crowd control. Let's say if you're a necromancer, you pull them with your grasping veins, boom, crowd control stun. Then when you cast them with your physical damage, they will take that multiplier, that explosion multiplier. Okay. Reverie Horn. What does it say on the Reverie Horn? Still, I don't like this effect. Why? Because it's inefficient. Why? When after you injure, the thing here is, after you injure, it's kind of gray, because we have a term here, injure. When you say injure, I think it's, though it didn't say injured, because there is a effect, a conditional effect on Diablo 4, that when it says injured, injured means your health is below 30%. I just hope that the injure here, it refers to when you hit the enemy. But why not say after you hit an enemy? Hitting an enemy, you're someone enlarged, they deal multiplier damage. That's it. Because I was thinking, like, if that is making, if the multiplier is only happening after you kill an enemy, or if you apply, or if the enemy is in the state of being injured, which is 30% life below, then if you're pushing the pit, this 50% is not going to apply until the boss or that enemy is at 30% life. But we can check this out. Reverie Horn. So the Reverie Horn, no requirement. So you should be somewhere here. Scornful Light. Why all of you guys are cross out? Why? Where's that cross out again? Scornful Light. No change. Okay. Take elemental damage. This one has the same effect of the Reverie Horn. What's that? Scornful Light. More elemental damage. No requirement. Iron Bane. This is for the shadow damage overtime. Same thing. Liminal Echo. Still no requirement. If you take fatal damage, instead prevent that damage, invoke propulsion. I think this is the jewel that it will no longer drop on hardcore server, because that will prevent, basically it's preventing the hardcore player to die, which is counteracting the intent of the gameplay of the hardcore mode. Liminal Echo, idle from below. Okay. No requirement. We need to know which one here got crossed out. 8%. That's it. This one. The effect is too long. How can you... Give me a second. How about... Where is it again? No. What's it called? To wrap the text so that they will fit on the column. Where are you? Wrap. This is a very long statement. Stop. You gain stat, maximum life, always on hit, however, blah, blah. Okay. After you cast your catalytic skill, I think this is okay. The requirement I'm just noting here is just for the requirement of the school, which is the control, power, and denial, because that will affect the Arcana. And speaking of Arcana, I think I missed something here and they didn't mention it. Let's go back. Yeah. I wonder if they are organized based on the school. They didn't say what school they are. I think we can only know what school they are once we play the game. It will show on the tooltip of the Arcana. So we need to know which one here is which school that they belong. What's that movie? Megamind. If you have watched that movie, like they call it shul. he he pronounced the school as shul. And they take me to this facility called shul. So we need to fill out this school. Let's highlight it in red so that I will remember. Why it's red? Why it's red? What's going on there? Anyway. Spark of creation. I said no. Your catalytic skill, your infusion, blah, blah, blah. That's it? Give me a second. So if you want barrier, you will be concentrating on the denial. It's just, the thing here is, how many arcana you can equip? I think 5. I think 5. Three. So if you want to use the barrier, now hopefully that the denial arcana that you need, the arcana that you need has the denial that you need for your build. Otherwise, it's like, oh, this effect is so important, but I'm using a arcana that a denial arcanas, 2 of them that I don't really need. So that's the tricky part. That's the tricky part. And this one, I don't know if they mentioned this on the PTR or on the patch notes. This one is not, your catalytic skill gains 25% cooldown reduction. I didn't see this when I played the PTR. This one is like, it's bugged. It doesn't change the cooldown of the catalyst. Infusions are potent, but we're not really, for necromancer, we don't have any so much benefit. Poor necros. Your catalytic skill deals 33% of your infusion's element over 3 seconds. Your catalytic skill deals 30% damage of your infusion's element. Dealing damage of your infusion element has a 30% chance to trigger its secondary effect. Oh. Okay, I need to go back. I think I didn't wrote down. I think I need to place Horadric Jewels and Catalyst. Okay. I'm gonna go back and write down Starflux. The Catalyst deal increased damage. However, you lose control of your Horadric spellcraft. And then Will Breaker. Here comes the Will Breaker. Sorry for I'm not really used to the Google Sheet. It's just the commands are different, and I'm really used to the Microsoft Excel. Sorry for the quick movement of the of the cell. Okay, let's remove this gap. Now where's that? Oops. I think no need for that. I think this one is fine. Yeah. This one is fine for now. Because I was not playing for almost 2 hours. I'm just playing the Diablo game at the background so that we have a bit of like a background sound. It's okay. Okay, we have the legendary Horadric powers. No. What is this one? Ah, okay. Now I remember. Yep. Horadric Arcana. Horadric Jewels, Arcana, patch notes. Let me move you here. I think I need to rename this now as okay. Okay. Moving forward. Arcana, we're done. Seal of Denial, Horadric Crest. Okay. Oh, Reverie Horn. Yeah, I changed this one already. Then this one. 6% Idol from Below. Did I change it? Idol from Below 6. No, you didn't. I think they changed it from. So remove 8. Okay. Illuminate Eye. Okay, explore Horadric's strong rooms. So according to them, the escalating nightmare dungeon sigils are only going to drop inside the strong room. So when we find a nightmare dungeon, so if there is an affix that says strong room, Horadric strong room, meaning it has a it is guaranteed to have a strong room inside of that dungeon, then we will get a chance to get a of course, to run the what they call the strong room run, to get those files, the chest also drops some manuals, tempering manuals. So as we progress on leveling, so most likely especially when we reach level 60, once we grind the nightmare dungeons, so it is important to grab those chests. I think in season 9 it's going to be important to play. Most of our playtime will be devoted on the nightmare dungeons, because the nightmare dungeon, the strong room chest provides. I saw it on the example gameplay of the developers stream yesterday. They have this. I saw that it dropped a manual, a legendary manual, so that's also a good source, especially when you're leveling. So it's right now, so in season 9, so we'll be grinding on the nightmare dungeons and the escalating nightmare dungeons. So we already know how to find the strong rooms. There will be like this, and then we fight the enemies, open the portal, go inside, then once inside, then we kill again. We choose pillars. I think you're gonna fight some monsters again, and then you chose 3 pillars. Pillars that will affect the rate in the drops for the attunement that we need in order to open. Not in order to open, but it increases the rewards once we open the chest after completing the strong room. So yeah, these are the 3 pillars. So we choose. So these pillar rituals can be completed in any order. These pillar rituals can be completed in any order, and these rituals now complete more quickly than with the larger rages to kill within. The way I see it, this is the first phase. After killing it, then monsters will appear. Am I correct? You will need to invoke these Horadric statues to influence your strongest. So choose wisely. The number of statues you need to select and have available to choose from will increase once you reach Torment Tiers. I think this pillar is now inside of the strong room. I believe you need to kill the what they mean by in any order. There will be pillars that you will see on the map. It doesn't necessarily like you have to go this way. It's in any order, whichever pillar that you want to complete. And then I think you need to be inside of this circle. to kill the enemies in order to complete and satisfy the requirement of this filler. Locate sacrifice shrines within the strong room to aid your fight. This one, the Grand Horadric Cache. So this cache will have more loot. I don't know if that also affects rarity, depending on the number of attunement that you have earned during your strong room run, earning you powerful rewards such as Of the Side. On leaving the strong room, you'll also be given one of the following buffs. On leaving the strong room, you'll be given one of the following buffs for completing the strong room, which will last until the end of your nightmare dungeon. Okay, that's nice. So there is experience, reputation, Of the Sight, gold, and Horadric files. So I guess this is random. Oh, you have the option. Sorry. After defeat, you have the option to select the Horadric Crash, which scales its rewards based on the. Okay, never mind. I thought you can choose the bonus after defeating the final boss on the strong room. So I guess this is random. If you get experience, then you will get experience. Bonus experience throughout. So if you have a strong room on the this one is going to work. It's which will last until the end of your nightmare dungeon. What does it mean is that if you are running only a nightmare dungeon, if you get, I believe, if you have a strong room on that nightmare dungeon, if it's not an escalating one, then that buff is not going to be carried over. This one, if I'm not mistaken, this is for the escalating nightmare dungeon. So if you have a strong room on the first dungeon, when you move to the second, if you get experience points, for example, then that experience points will be carried over to the next escalating nightmare dungeon. If you get another experience points, I guess, then you'll have now double bonus experience of that particular experience to the second, then to the third one. So the good thing here is if you have the Of the Sight, then if you have bonus Of the Sight on the first, and then if you're lucky to get the Of the Sight on the second, then you have if you're really lucky, if you have Of the Sight all throughout on those three nightmare dungeon, I believe the Of the Sight is going to be very abundant on that particular run. Now the Infernal Hordes are now going to be less being played now. And then gold, and then for files, if you want files, then if you get files, then you'll get more files, of course. Survive the escalating nightmare dungeon. So nightmare dungeon escalate as you go through each dungeon, as each nightmare dungeon affects stands on the next dungeon as you continue through in torment tiers. As the difficulty increases, so the rewards. Manage to fight your way to the to the torment tiers. I think I'm almost I'm still at the seasonal mechanic. It's almost 12 noon, so I guess after I'm finished with the seasonal mechanic changes, I'm gonna take my lunch break first, and then so that when I go back, then I'll be I'll be going over with the 2.3.0 patch notes. Or you can get it from the Horadric Knowledge Seasonal Reputation track. So you'll get a free one. Okay. So if you got a nightmare escalating sigil on non-torment difficulty, you will not be able to get the chance to fight Astaroth. Astaroth is only available from Torment 1 and higher. Yeah, those the three-headed beast will resurrect. So we need to kill Astaroth before they resurrect. Otherwise, we have to kill them again. Then Astaroth before we fight Astaroth again. So permanent nightmare dungeon updates. So now these are the permanent updates to the nightmare dungeon, Horadric strong room, escalating nightmare, and then the dungeon affixes. What do they mean by new uniques for each class? Permanent features to remain beyond season 9. Oh, I guess they are referring to the new uniques that was introduced, like the Hand of Naz for the Necromancer. Exclusive to season 9, Sins of the Horadrim, season 9 Crush. You can now activate nightmare sigils from the nightmare dungeons once the dungeon is complete. You no longer need to exit to the dungeon to enter a new dungeon. There is no escape if you prefer. Yeah, that's a good quality of life. Because before, when you're inside and then you open a nightmare sigil, it teleports you out on the nightmare dungeon, and then you have to browse the map. Where is the nightmare dungeon? And apparently, it will not automatically zoom in, because in the case of if you open your nightmare sigil, when you open your map, the map automatically zoom in where the nightmare dungeon is that you activated. Therefore, all you need to do is just click that and then you teleport into that dungeon. But if you are inside of the completed nightmare dungeon, when you open a new nightmare sigil, when you consume a nightmare sigil, it teleports you back. When you enter that portal, it opens a portal. It doesn't open a portal. It's just it closed the dungeon, and then I can't remember what's going on there. I think it teleports you out right away, but it's not teleporting you to the next dungeon, but it teleports you out to the entrance of that completed dungeon. And then you have to open your map again and to find, apparently if you open your map, it doesn't zoom in to that new open nightmare dungeon. So you have to look into the map, where is that, and then you have to enter. So now you can now just continue. That's a good quality of life. Completing the dungeon, open the sigil, teleport in, then you're inside on the next one. And then of course we have new affixes on the Horadric reserves. Do I have that? This one. Horadric equipment, power, miscellaneous. Have the equipment, power, forgotten wisdom, treasure breaches. So that's the miscellaneous one. And then strong room, Horadric strong room, guaranteed Horadric strong room. Why you're not doing that? What else? That's it. Huh? You're weird. You're weird. Okay. New unique items. Barbarian. Sorry, I don't play Barbarian. I don't play Druid. I only play Necromancer. The Hand of Naz. Affixes. The only improvement here is the time between attacks of the Shattering has been reduced by 50%. Skeletal mages now become unstoppable for 1 second after teleporting. So when they are getting damage, they teleport and they become unstoppable, which is nice. Especially when they are getting frozen, so they will teleport, I would say. I hope. Because it says here, the Archmages teleport to safety when attacked. So it is important here that we are grouping up the monsters so that so the skeletal archmages are not always getting hit. Because the problem here is, if we are not paying attention to the gameplay, to the movement of the monsters around us. So imagine if the monsters are hitting us while other monsters are hitting the mages. So the mages are like keep on teleporting because they're getting hit. So that's the thing. To be honest, this one, where is it? When attack, where's that teleporting thing? Skeletal mages should only teleport when, I think, when they are crowd controlled, not when they are attacked. Because we can use the especially when we are using the aspect of sacrifice, the service and sacrifice, our mages already getting 95% damage reduction. 95 or 90? I think 90%. That is a huge damage reduction already. And then we are always casting the raised skeleton to buff our minions, so they're healing already. And most of the time the monsters are chasing us, not the mages. So I hope that the skeletal mages are not keep on teleporting around rather than hitting the enemies. Like every time they get hit, they teleport right away, and then after teleporting, they hit again, they teleport again. That's going to be a problem. Okay, that's nice. And it seems like the number of the skeletal mages is not bugged. It is really intended. So it's like sacrificing both skeletal warriors and golem grants an additional skeletal mage for each minion sacrificed. I thought that each minion sacrifice is that when you sacrifice warriors, you sacrifice one type of minion. Then it gives you one, and then golem, and then it gives you one. So now what it means is that the number of minions that are being added is basically based on the number of the minions of that type. So the skeletal warriors, when you equip the occult dominion, you have 6. So sacrificing the warriors, now the mages will replace the number of warriors. So now from 5 mages, now you have an additional 6. Now you sacrifice golem, we can only summon 1 golem, then you get 1. This is good. I think what I'm going to do, if I reach Torment 1 right away, I'm gonna farm some boss mats, or if we get the boss mats right away, if I'm strong enough, I'm going to hunt down Duriel and Andariel to get that gloves. Well, I hope on our seasonal journey, those seasonal cash rewards, hopefully if we're lucky enough, of course that is by luck, if we can get that Hand of Nuz when we open our seasonal caches. But let's see. But anyway, I'm gonna chase Duriel even at Torment 1 just to find that Hand of Nuz, so that we can full blast with our full blast with our skeletal mages. And then Harbinger of Hatred as well. Carve through the sins of the Horadrim Reliquary. I hope the rewards are more better than before. This looks cool. This looks nice. I haven't used my premium battle pass though. The one that I got free when I purchased the ultimate edition of the Vessel of Hatred. I'm just waiting for the right opportunity. If there's a very good cosmetic good cosmetic and then mount cosmetic, then I will use that premium pass. So same thing. Then after completing the season, the chapter 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then we will unlock the new pet called Dante. What's his name? Is it his name Dante? The hero character from the game called Devil May Cry? Is it his name Dante? He also fight demons and fiery beast. Dante. Yeah, I think his name is Dante. Then you have this Enhanced Carnage with Nvidia DLS 4. Well, that's it. That's it for the season 9 updates. And then I'm gonna take my lunch first, and then when I get back, let's go over to the patch notes. Is it big enough? Is it big enough on the screen? Okay, I think it's big enough. So yeah, I'm gonna take my short break, and when I get back, let's go over to the patch notes and let's see. I have gone through with a bit, but I haven't gone through with the specific details, and well, let's see. Well, yeah, I'm gonna take my lunch break first, and I'll be right back. See you guys later. There you go. Patch notes 2.3.0. So let's go over with the patch notes. Again, not familiar with the Spiritborn. Bug fixes, torn damage. base game. The skill of the Book of the Dead. The skill of the skills and Book of the Dead. So again, they have reduced the blood orbs for the blood wave. And with this, it again affects one of the not being utilized unique called the Blood Artisan's Cuirass. That was famous back in season 5. Now it is not effective anymore as a build. They call it the Spirit Wave. Cold Mage attacks makes vulnerable. Now Cold Mage attacks makes enemies vulnerable and have a 10% chance to instantly freeze the target. Passive Serration, critical strike chance increased from 0.3 to 1. Okay, Titan's Fall. Previous, while fortified, you deal 6% increase. Now a flat 5. No more requirement of the fortified, but you get, but the damage was reduced. The increased damage was reduced. Necrotic Fortitude, this is the fortification, so they increased from 5 to 7. That is fine. Ossified Essence, damage per essence used increased from 0.5 to 0.7, cap at 140%. Affliction, scaling increased from 200 to 120. Base damage increased from 100 to 180. Cap to 900%. Shadow Blight, scaling percent increased from 20 to 70%. Damage cap increased from 300 to 450. Legendary Aspects, Blighted, damage bonus increased from 25 to 35. From 25 to 35. Bone Duster. Previous, Bone Spear is guaranteed to overpower enemies within the Bone Prison and deals increased damage to them. Now, Bone Spear deals 30 to 45 to enemies within Bone Prison, and the first Bone Spear to hit each enemy within it is guaranteed to overpower. The first Bone Spear to hit. I'm not sure about this. What do they mean by the first hit? And what happens to the second? Not guaranteed to overpower anymore? Or are they referring to the first Bone Spear? Because when using the Indira's memory, when you consume the corpse, another Bone Spear will hit. So that additional Bone Spear will no longer overpower? Only the first Bone Spear, meaning the casted Bone Spear, is going to hit or guaranteed to overpower? Why not just say to hit, casted Bone Spear is the only will guarantee to overpower? But it doesn't make sense that the Bone Spear will only overpower on the first hit. On the second, it's not. Because unlike the Blood Lance and the Blood Surge, on after consecutive hits, after stacking, after several hits, they will guarantee to overpower. The Blood Spear doesn't have, even on its skill, the Bone Spear doesn't have that. Only have a multiplier on the overpower. Other than that, it doesn't have the ability really to guarantee, only with the Bone Duster's aspect when enclosing our enemies with our Bone Prison. Then Hand of Naz, Archmage size slightly increased. Archmages now become unstoppable for a moment after teleport. I think I don't need to go over with this one because this one, usually when they do the patch notes, they will make a changes based on, like, this is updates from PTR. So basically, this is the additional or the changes that they made from the existing game on the PTR. And then after this updates from the PTR, they will have the main patch notes that really show the hand of Naz, these are the effects, and what are the changes on the affixes or the effects of that particular item or skill. We will see these changes in a short while. We're just gonna skip them. Legendary aspects, sorcerer. I'm just gonna go over with the necromancer, and then here it is. Will breaker. Is it the same? 40% for 6 seconds. Okay. I think it's already been updated. Like propulsion starting cooldown reduced from 9 to 8. Propulsion, that is catalyst. I don't have data for the catalyst, but anyway. Disintegrate, beam radius increased by 100%. Celestial surge, lucky hit chance reduced from 30 to 18. I think I saw this one. Anomalies, infusions. Damage increased by 25%. Fusions. Arcana magic from 100, so 150 to 300. Jag Brumble. Yeah, 150% of your thorns damage, and then 5 upgrades, so 30 times 5, so that's an additional 300, so it will go up to 150 to 300, so that's correct. Rare. They're just showing here what was the changes from the PTR, and when season 9 goes live, this will be the update. These are the updated changes. Miscellaneous monster health increase. The monster health increase per pit tier after Torment 1 has been slightly reduced to ensure a wider range of builds succeed in their journey to Torment 4. So they are saying that the build was nerfed, but the monster's health has been reduced. So it's like a bit compensated with the nerfs that happen on the game. This is the one I'm more interested with. Remove the inherent additive damage portion of overpower that was based on your life and fortify bonus. On the PTR, we tested an 80% reduction in these additive damage values, but still found overpower based builds to be overperforming other options due to its part to its inherent bonus. Overpower will now only grant up to a 50% damage increase when it triggers. Similar to critical strikes. Because the way the overpower works is that you have the multiplier. And on top of that multiplier, it scales an additive damage based on the difference for each difference of base life and your fortification and your base life to your max life. For every base life of your max life and your amount of fortification beyond your base life, you get an additional 1% additive damage. And then that particular damage will be scaled even further by the overpower. So now, they remove that additive damage portion. what they did is now when you the overpower damage now is like similar to the, for example, if you have placed 100% overpower damage, that will become 150% plus the scaling of your overpower from your paragon and your passives on your skill tree. But we will see how does it affects the because I'm planning to use supposedly the blood surge just in case to be the fast clearer for like the escalating nightmare dungeon. But if it's not going to perform well, then I don't know. Nightmare dungeon, resplendent chest. It says here Betrayer's Husk. Scale with difficulty tier. I hope. Are they saying the drop? This is also okay. I think this is the new legendary aspect that making your bone skills to become shadow. Oh, this one. I know this one. They always die. Also this one. So I guess when the mages are now if they become archmages when you port out or when you go to a different zone, so they will remain archmages, which is good. Okay, so this is the for me this is like the more complete detail of the new items, the skills, and the updated changes on a particular item. Again, we'll just skip the Spiritborn, except runes. The root drop chance, we know this already. Lair boss abilities of drop chance. Okay. Yeah, because on season 8, it's the lair bosses really has a low rate of drop chance on the legendary rune Undercity Kurast. The Butcher now awards an Undercity tribute on death. Okay. I hope you can, instead of reducing the tribute, how about can you craft the tribute to another tribute? So that they will also have, they will have a purpose even though you don't want to use them. Nightmare Dungeon rotation. Oh, this is more on Nahantu and Spiritborn. Okay, base game. Skipping Barbarian and Druid. Man of Naz. So basically there was no change here. The only change here is the it says here occasionally, though they didn't mention specifically how frequent is the shatter is going to happen. So on the patch notes on the PTR, they just mentioned that they have reduced 50%. Let's just say occasionally, it means that for every 1 second, for example, then they reduce it to 50%. Now it's like half a second that it's going to happen, something like that. But in terms of the affixes, the power, and the effects is basically still the same. Okay, balance update, Shard of Veratiel, damage reduced, damage bonus reduced from. Okay. Okay. Barbarian, skipping Barbarian again. Skipping Druid. Okay. So Necromancer. So Reap. The basic skills has been increased. Hemorrhage, Decompose, Enhanced Decompose, Bone Splinters, Soul Rift. So Soul Rift no longer grants a barrier. Damage bonus on Prime Soul Rift also reduced from 75 to 15%. Yeah, I need to really check that overpowered damage, whether is it still based on the life or not. Affliction, then ossified essence. Your essence generation is increased by 50%. Your bone skill deals 0.7% maximum of 140%. In Shadow Blight, they increase the base damage, healing reduced from 100 to 70, damage bonus cap at 450%. 450%. Now also scales with shadow damage. Ah. Okay. Because on our skill tree, especially on the Paragon board, there is corruption damage and then shadow damage. So since this is still a shadow, but it's in a different form, so now it will scale with shadow damage. Okay. And then Ratmus Vigor's overpower reduced from 100 to 120. Aspect of Swelling Curse. This is the one that when you cast your Bone Spirit. This is the one. Oh, sorry. This is not the one. Sorry. So now the Swelling Curse is renamed to Decaying Humors. Now your bone skill now deals shadow damage instead of physical. Enemies take 15 to 25% increased shadow damage after being hit with a bone skill. Can we use Bone Spear with this one? Oh no! We can do a shadow damage crit. But with regards to the Paragon board, the corrupting damage from the Wither Node is... the Wither Node is basically for the corrupting damage. So we cannot use this one for the Bone Spear. You can use it for the ultimate skill, the Bone Storm, by making it a shadow damage, a shadow corrupting damage, by using the aspect called the Ultimate Shadow. Then a Plunging Darkness, Bone Prison spawns a Pool of Blight. Bone Prison is now a darkness skill and spawns a Pool of Blight for 6 seconds. Your Blight deal 40 to 60% increased damage while Bone Prison is active. This is good for the Blight. I think, considering that there's so many utilities and damage scaler for the Blight, for the Shadow, probably after playing the Shadow, the Archmages, I'm gonna play the Blight first and then we'll go with the Blood Spear. And then Blighted Aspect, you deal increased damage for 6 seconds after the Shadow Blight key damages 10 enemies. Now, consecutive hits with the Shadow Blight key passive deal increased damage for each hit, resetting 6 seconds after the first. Okay. I think this is a good change wherein you, every time that you hit, it's just you keep on stacking the increased damage and resetting the cooldown, the timer, the duration. Unlike this one, I remember when you hit the enemy 10 times, then the blighted count will start. I think 10 seconds. I think it's 10 seconds. So the blight will you will deal damage within 10 seconds, and then after 10 seconds the buff will go will be over, and then you're gonna stack again the Shadow Blight. Blood Soak. Blood Mist leaves a trail of desecrated ground that lasts for 8 seconds and deal corrupting damage per second. And it's now a mobility legendary. This is also good. You can place this on the boots. That gives movement speed and offensive effects of Creeping Mist. Coldbringers. Time between blizzard casts reduced from 6 to 4 seconds. Okay. Then Deathless Visage reduced by half. Same thing with the Indira's Memory. Blood Scream. Affixes. This is huge. However, if you're going to use Blight, this is a shadow damage. This requires to crit. I believe this item and this effect would benefit to the Bone Storm or to the Sever, because Sever is a shadow damage type skill, core skill, that is not a corrupting damage. Though this one will not scale on the Wither node. Now your darkness skills chills enemies up to 100% and 200 increased damage to frozen enemies and bosses. Every 800 times you damage enemies with the darkness skill, all nearby enemies are feared. This is, how many multiplier is this? Because our weapon damage is 550, so close to 1100 is, that's 200% increase, a 100% increase times 13 or 12 approximately. It's like 24% increase in damage to the shadow when you lucky hit. Okay, that's interesting for the shadow damage. Paragon Board, Bloodbath reduced from 100 to 40. This is huge. That is huge. Skipping the Rogue, skipping the Sorcerer, and yeah. Did I miss something? Nothing. Okay, user interface and user experience. To disable the floating text. Item affix updates. Values of many tempering affixes. So now the resistance to elements has been reduced from 12 to 10. Base elemental resistance has been increased to 75, cap at 85%. When overpowering additive bonus based on your maximum life and fortify amounts has been reduced by 80%. Okay. So there is still an additive bonus between our max life and fortify to our base life. So technically, from what I know, it's for every difference of our base life to fortify and max life. Let me rephrase. For every amount of base life, I think our base life is 400 something. For every amount of base life between our base life and max life is equal to 1%. And then the difference, or is it max life? The ratio between your base life and your max life. So that's 1%. You multiply that to 1%. And then the difference between your base life and your fortify, the amount of your fortification is also 1%. So now they reduce to 80%. So it's like for every difference, for every base life on our max life, the increased damage is now 0.2% instead of 1%. As simple as that. So we still need to stack life. We still need to stack life to have that additive bonus. It's just it was reduced to 80%. But the overpower damage has a 50% increase. So, I mean, we'll see. Damage as affix increased. Basic damage over time affix decreased. Overpower damage affix decreased. Inherent affixes. Everything is reduced except for the damage over time. Close to enemies. Summoning damage increased. Overpower damage. These inherent affixes, these are the implicit affixes on the weapons. On the offensive items. Loot updates, whispers. Any updates on Ancestral Cache, whether it's gonna have a high chance? Now drops more gems. In Torment 3 and greater, these cash rewards are random, royal gem or higher. Okay. That's nice. Not just fragments, you have the chance to get a different form. The crafted form of the gem. Basically, if you have that and then you want the grand one, then you can salvage it and then add the fragments if it's enough to upgrade for a higher form. Nightmare Dungeon, completion rewards no longer drop magic and rare items in Torment tiers. Okay, that's nice. For Hordes, more gems, world boss, guaranteed to drop in from a compass, crafted caches. I think they also explained this during the campfire chat for the PTR. They have improved the requirement for crafting those caches. Excuse me. Then Ancestral Chants now scales with difficulty tier, which is good. Nightmare Dungeon affixes, Heraldic Reserves. Heraldic Reserves gives fragment golds, obols, seasonal currency and resources, equipment, power shrine is shrine, forgotten wisdom is experience, treasure breach. These are treasure goblins, seasonal rotation, seasonal dungeon rotation, miscellaneous keyboard and mouse summons. So now they properly inherit lucky hit and overpower bonuses on our companions and minions. Spending, consuming, and draining resource. So spending resource is the act of casting skills and your resource being reduced by an amount. Some mechanics in the game interact with spending, and the amount spent can be reduced with the resource cost reduction. Consuming resource counts as spending resource for the purposes of interacting the ability mechanics. The amount consumed is fixed and cannot be lowered by resource reduction. Consuming resource. So meaning consuming resource means that you have reduced your resource without casting the skill. What is the good? I don't see any. I can't remember anything that I think there's one. Is it the Quax rune, wherein it consumes your resource? It depletes your resource right away. Draining resource does not count as spending. So consuming resource is still so the spending and consuming, the difference between them is that you are required to consume the resource, but this particular resource reduction cannot be reduced by your resource cost reduction affixes or effects. It's like, for example, say casting Bone Spear consume a corpse, and then by doing so, consume 30% of your resource. So that one, you cannot lower it by resource cost reduction. But if you spend your skill, because the skill requires resource, then you can reduce it using the resource cost reduction. Draining, you don't have any control. If it drains 5 seconds per, like the Great Feast. You cannot use a resource cost reduction to make that 7, for example, if you don't have the minion, 7 resource per second, you cannot control or reduce that 7-second requirement by a resource cost reduction. Okay. Bug fixes, accessibility, gameplay. Druid, Necromancer. Oh, give me a second. Give me a second. I need to go back somewhere. Somehow I didn't see it. Or did I miss it? Here. Necromancer skills. Supreme Blood Wave, Serration, Titan's Fall, Necrotic Fortitude, Shadow Blight, Legendary Aspects, Unique Items, Paragon Board. Sorry, I think I missed this one. Paragon Board. Somehow I jumped to Rogue already. Sorry, my bad. My bad. Because I remember something that I thought that it didn't discussed. Flesh Eater. So these are the changes to the PTR. So Hulking Monstrosity. Previews, our golem increased maximum life and increased damage. Now your golem has a 40% maximum life and increased damage, and then skeletal mages and warrior sacrifice bonuses grant an additional 35% golem damage. Now this is kind of intriguing. This third statement, the second statement of the new Hulking Monstrosity legendary node, mages and warrior sacrifice bonuses. Are we saying that if we are going to use golem on its own, it will gain an additional 35% golem damage? Skeletal mages and warrior sacrifice bonuses grant an additional 35% golem damage. But why would I sacrifice the warriors and the mages? Because if we are going to play the golem, we need more minions so that the Kalan's Edict will provide more attack speed to proc the Cult Leader node. Second, our damage will also increase based on the number of minions. Now give me a second. For the Kalan's Edict, because the golem has its own attack speed increase on its Paragon board. Okay. We can easily reach 100% attack speed for our golem to activate the Cult Leader node. If we don't have the Kalan's Edict, we're losing 11 minions That is 33%. 36. Oh yeah, 11 times 3. We're losing attack speed though. We're losing attack speed and we're losing damage. Now give me a second. Let's open my planner and let's see what I'm talking about. So the Kalan's Edict, 3% attack speed. This one is okay, but the damage, 3% damage for each active minion. Technically, we're losing 11 if we're not going to use if we're not going to include the skeletals, mages and warriors. So we're losing 33%. So they're saying here that by adding this one, it compensates the Kalan's Edict's buff if we're only summoning the golem. However, the raised skeleton increasing their damage. Raised skeleton briefly summons a skeletal priest to empower your minions, and it talks about the minions, including the golem, increasing their damage to 30%. So, if we don't have the warriors, if the skeleton army with us, then we're losing an additional 30%. Because this statement is kind of tricky. It says here, why not say when skeletal mages and warrior are sacrificed, grant an additional 35% golem damage. What it says here, skeletal mages and warrior sacrifice, and then they mention bonuses. Grant an additional 35% golem damage, because we know that when we sacrifice our warriors and mages, we can still have this one. Though I don't know if this is a misstatement, whether what it means is that sacrificing mages and warrior will grant an additional golem damage, or sacrificing mages and warriors will have their sacrificial bonuses to gain an additional 35%, but it doesn't make sense. It says here very clearly 35% increase, additional 35% golem damage. Anyway, so technically it's still better to have the warriors and the mages with us if you're playing the golem. And then bone graft, number of total stacks reduced from 8 to 4. Damage per stack increased from 1 to 5. What is that bone graft again? What the heck? Where's the... change board? Hitting enemies with bone skills increases your damage by 1% of your essence by 2. The funny thing here is, it says here your maximum, it will only increase up to 8%. It's like, give me a second here. Hitting your enemies with your damage increase your damage by 1% by your maximum essence by 2. Yeah, so meaning it will only increase our damage by 8% and maximum essence of 16. It says here number of total stacks reduced from 8 to 4. I don't get it. Damage per stack increased from 1 to 5. Bone graft. Was this already changed? I think it's not yet, because I want to see what is really the statement is about. They didn't say anything. Oh, we need before and after. This is what have we changed. Total stacks reduced from 8 to 4, and then damage per stack increased from 1 to 5. So meaning you're getting a damage increase of 5% times 4 of the stacks. But I mean 20% increase in damage. Ew. Passives. Legendary aspects. Unique items. Paragon. See, this is the one I'm talking about. They have made changes on the PTR, but I was surprised that it was not mentioned here. Those Paragon node changes. I think I also see some changes on the Flesh Eater node. That is a good change, that you'll get a buff after consuming 3 corpses. That is good. Anyway, fix an issue where Howl from below did not grant the summon tag to corpse explosion. Fix an issue where Bone Spear and Bone Splinter's Trig from skeletal bone mages were not properly inheriting summoning minion or skeletal mage damage bonuses. Are you saying that when they cast the Bone Spear, it will scale based on, it's like the Bone Spear is now a summon skill that will be scaled by the minions, by the summoning damage increase or minion damage increase? is still here. Fix an issue where ether counter did not properly display. Various stability, performance, visual UI, and audio improvements. Well, there we have it. This is the complete patch notes for Season 9, which is going to be live on July 1, Tuesday. So I'm gonna make and update my planner on tomorrow off stream, and yeah, I'm gonna play. So after this, I'm gonna go back now to Last Epoch and continue playing with the Witchfire Warlock and what else? Yeah. So I'm gonna update my planner based on the updated patch 2.3.0, and let's see how it goes. So again, my plan would be playing the Archmages, and it seems like there's a big improvement for the Blight, the Shadow Damage build. So I'm gonna play with Blight, and then we'll try again and see how the blood builds are doing. I'm gonna play with the Bone Spear, and I'm also gonna try and let's see if we can also play the Golem, and let's see how it goes. Because the thing with the Golem is like it really lacks clear speed, like, because sometimes I really want to have a build that can go all around, that has a good clear speed. Let's see. I still like the mages though. It's like they have a good clear speed and good damage as well, especially now that we have the Hand of Dance, the army of the Archmages. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna stretch a bit, and let me see. I'm gonna close now the Diablo game, and then I'm going to launch the Last Epoch, and then when I get back, just for 5 minutes, I'm gonna stretch out a bit, and then we're gonna continue with our Last Epoch Witchfire Warlock.